friends, welcome back to my channel. It's been a while since I made a video and there are a few reasons for that. One is that I lost my AirPods and I can't use my phone to make videos unless I have my AirPods in, so I couldn't make a video, at least with audio. So I ended up having to buy replacement AirPods and they just got delivered, so I said I'd come on here and test them out and use them for the reason that I bought them for. So just wanted to make a little check-in, a Friday Reads, I suppose. I didn't make a wrap-up video for March because a lot of the books that I read in March, especially the last part of March, were books that I was reading for the BookTube prize, and I posted a vlog where I discussed all those 6 books. And so I didn't want to just make another video like right after that where I talked about those books again and then the couple of other books that I read in March. So I didn't make a March recap video. Maybe at some point I will, but I guess I have to make a few videos, other kinds of videos in between. So I'll tell you briefly about the books that I've read since the beginning of April, which haven't been many. I read Azar Nafisi's memoir, Reading Lolita in Tehran, and I really enjoyed that. It wasn't exactly what I expected. I thought I was going to focus on the shock value of Lolita, and you know what reading a book that's banned like that would mean in a place like Tehran in Iran. But the book is so literary. It's focused more on the perspective that literature brings to us. And so the author, aside from just the shock of what Nabokov achieves in this book or with this book, is more about how the patriarchy seeks to rob the identity of women, and what kind of reaction women have to that kind of book under, you know, the system, the censorship in Iran. What kind of reaction they have to books and authors like Lolita and Nabokov and Gatsby by Fitzgerald. And there's just a host of books that are discovered and explored, and it gives you a sense of joy that you have freedom to read those books by yourself and not constantly be, you know, not constantly facing the scrutiny that women face. And not that all the people who are watching this video are women, but just, you know, the freedom to read and revel in experiences and thoughts without someone constantly behind you saying you shouldn't read this book. And I know right now there's this ongoing discussion about books being banned in places like Texas. But, you know, for the most part, we have that freedom to read and explore as we like in the Western world. And so it was a beautiful book. At first, I wasn't sure how much I was going to enjoy it because we meet a lot of women and their identity at first is kind of muddled, mirroring how they appear at first. You know, these women who look very anonymous in their scarves and hijabs and chadors. And then as they're able to unveil themselves with us and we start to learn what makes them different, I started enjoying the book a lot more. And I think it mirrors what Nafisi's writing about. So that was really fun. So reading Lolita in Tehran, I actually have a copy here. Yeah. I was reading this for a challenge that I was doing, finishing up my challenge on the Facebook group. And so I read that one. I got a lot of books from publishers that I've been trying to read to review because of, you know, the fact that the publishers sent them to me for me to feature them. So you'll hear me talk a little bit about those. Right now I'm reading an arc, Truth, Lies, and Mrs. Gray by Shelley Ellis. And the publishers were kind enough to send me the book that came before because it's a series, even though these are they're standalone books. So I was supposed to read this one before I read this one, but I kind of ran out of time. So I'm reading the second book in the series first. We'll talk about that maybe in a weekend vlog. I feel like I'm doing a vlog this weekend. It's a little late in the day to have started that, but we're still working on that. So yeah. Aside from that, I'm starting my BookTube prize reading. I am reading Diary of a Young Naturalist by Dara, I can't remember the last name. I feel like it's McNulty, but I could be wrong. It's a book about a boy who is, as the title says, he's a naturalist. He's a young boy, I think he's 14 years old at the beginning of the book, and he's writing kind of a memoir, nature memoir, over the course of a year as he and his family go out and witness nature, witness their landscape, and as they move and the landscape is changing, and as the seasons change, and so the landscape and the experiences are changing, he's writing it all down. And I can't talk about my thoughts on the book, just kind of what the book is about. So that's the first book that I'm reading for the BookTube Prize. So that's what I'm focusing on now. I'm also reading The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath, which I've never read, and I'm buddy reading that with Columbus and Rosalie, two of my buddies, and we're reading and discussing that one on WhatsApp. And I'm waiting for a book to come in for me to start a buddy read with a friend of mine from overseas. She's in Europe, and we're going to be reading When the Devil Needs Bread. I don't remember the title, but we're going to be reading that soon, so you'll hear about that coming up. So yeah, those are books that I'm reading, and like I said, I can't talk about whether I'm enjoying them or not, but you'll hear more about those soon. So yeah, just kind of catching you up on what I've been reading, and I would love to hear from you, what you've been reading, what you're enjoying. If you watched the BookTube Prize videos, if you watch my BookTube Prize video, I got a lot of comments. I haven't responded to a lot of those yet, but I've been watching some of the other judges weigh in on, how they found the BookTube Prize, the judging, and how the round shakes up. Because usually if your picks don't go through, you probably feel a little discounted if other people or enough people didn't think like you did, so your picks didn't go through. I don't know how and don't know why, but this time the 3 books that I selected as my top 3 were the 3 that went through to the next round. So I really feel validated. Not that I need the round to reflect my ballot in order for me to feel validated, but I did feel like I made the right choices because, like I said, I did it a little bit with a couple of the books, and eventually my picks reflected in the way that the round eventually concluded. So that's fun, and I'm reading nonfiction this round, so that's why I'm reading Diary of a Young Naturalist. So yeah, I don't want to make this really long, but I would love to hear from you, what you've been reading, what you've been enjoying, and what you've been up to, your bookish life, your highlights. One of the things that I'm going to be doing soon is looking a little bit at some of the goals or markers that I set for myself this year and seeing whether or not I'm on track to meet them at the end of the first quarter. Usually that doesn't go well because I start off my year making goals and then just kind of putting them aside and just kind of reading and doing what I want, and then kind of seeing at some point whether or not I've been going according to the plan. But if I'm not living according to the plan, can't accomplish the plan, can I? But sometimes you can. But we're going to do that soon. So that's something to look forward to if you're into that kind of thing, goal reviews. And yeah, so thank you so much for watching this video. Would love to chat with you in the comments, and let's chat about your books. So thank you, and until next time, happy reading. Bye.